Redcat Kaiju. Okay, so there's been a few things going on with this truck or its platform for the last couple of weeks with the announcement of the Kaiju EXT and just a few hours ago the rival MT8. Now we know that the EXT is just an extended Kaiju with a longer chassis and whatnot, but the MT8 from Team Associate, that thing is, well, it's a little different. Wow. I was looking at the thing, I was like, what the heck? They actually gave the Kaiju a metal chassis? Wow. Okay. So, enough about that thing. We're going to see what that thing does when it gets out. I mean, but pretty much, it's a Kaiju. With the same motor and ESC and the hobby wing stuff that this thing has. I mean, this truck has been my go-to for so long. I mean, I've been riding this thing for, wow, I don't know how many runs this thing got on. It got a lot. Oh boy, I've already replaced the tires on this truck about 3 times. Yeah. And the tires are getting harder and harder to find. Darn it, I should have got more when they was on Jenny's RC. But now they're pretty much gone. They'll come back. Redcat always tries to bring back more and more parts for these stupid cars. Yeah, so this is my regular Kaiju. I mean, it's not even close to being stock anymore. I think I've gone over it a couple of times already. Not in too much detail. I mean, you can see right there that I just completely changed out the whole arm, upper and lower. And got this metal plate. Yeah, this is literally a steel plate to keep the arms from bending and ripping out the bulkhead. So, yeah. It's a tank. It's not just a tank. It's literally the most durable car I have. Period. And the last time I broke anything on this truck, which was probably a good 30, 40 runs ago, was a little part in the steering. Ackerman servo saver thing. It more or less snapped off. And it snapped off in a way that I said, damn, this sucks. If I put another one on, it's just gonna snap off like that again. It broke right there. Right where you see this little metal plate. Yeah, it broke right there. So I was like, that's a weakness. And that weakness kinda sucks. So what I did was that I went and found a little metal steel, I want to say it was like a wrench, like one of those little flat hex wrenches that come in stupid stuff that they want to give you something to put the thing together, so they put a crappy flat hex wrench up in there, and it's steel, and it looks strong enough to be, and small, thin enough to go in between the servo spring, which actually, yeah, I kind of really took the spring out because it wasn't really doing anything. And I put that in there. So, yeah, now there's really just the servo saver is pretty much all locked up. I mean, it's glued together anyway, so it's not gonna come apart. And I haven't broke any servos on this truck per se. All I've been having problems with is the stupid servo saver itself. Yeah, it's a weak piece of shit. So what I did was that I pretty much just cut off one of the ends of the wrench, slide it in the groove and glued it in place, and then drilled a couple of holes in it and wired the whole thing together. So it's pretty much like you're wiring its mouth shut. But it's worked for damn near 30 runs, just about. Yeah, and when I say 30 runs, I don't mean just ripping around the yard and stuff. I mean jumping this thing to high heaven and back. And as you can see, the way I got it set up is that there's no way this thing will break ever. I mean, I can throw it off my roof right onto an arm and it'd be like it. But yeah, this arm, yeah, you can see it's not the stock arm. It is a damn, it's been so long since I did this, I forgot what it was. It's a half-inch HDPE HDPE what? Let's see, it's a half-inch HDPE damn, it's been so long. Oh, cutting board. Yeah, it's a cutting board that I cut up, added some stuff to it, and now it's pretty much bulletproof as an arm. Now, it is a heck of a lot heavier than the stock arm, but the stock arm is, well, more or less, it works as long as you don't land on it. Oh, so much for that. As long as you don't land on it, it's fine. But when you land on it, it'll break. I mean, the truck is actually pretty heavy itself, so yeah, and the arms are kinda thinnish. I mean, I still got this one over here, and you can see I got the Creighton body on it. But actually, I got two Creighton bodies because I love the look of this thing so much. And this body is kind of looking a little short in the tooth. I mean, it's still on there and it still works, but it's kinda, yeah, getting beat up, so. So I might as well get a little show body for it while I beat this one to heck. Okay, so this is my other Kaiju, the one that I didn't really, well, actually I think this one was my first Kaiju, and then I just added the hex extensions that tore up the CVDs, so I put the Creighton axles on there. And then I had to put a bearing in there to offset the difference in length between the axle, between the Creighton axle and the Kaiju axle, and then it's able to handle the lovely 1.25" hex extensions that I got it on there to give it a little more of a truggy stance. Yeah, and to offshoot the difference in steering, well, the steering angle, the increased torque on the servo, that is, I used this ridiculous 35 kilogram Amazon servo, the cordless digital one. Yeah, I love that servo. I mean, the first time I bought the servo, it blew up, and then the second time I bought the servo, it blew up. So yeah, I got in contact with the actual maker of the servo. Yeah, they're freaking DS servo. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're Chinese, so I had to actually speak to them in Chinese about Mandarin. Yeah, actual Mandarin. It wasn't traditional. It was Mandarin. So I contacted them, and they was like, "Oh, you probably got a fluke or it crapped out." And they sent me like 5 of those things, and I was like, "Whoa, y'all gonna send me 5 of them?" Like, okay, send them. I'll take care of them. And all 5 was perfect. I mean, I still got all 5 of them, and that was literally years and years ago. So I put one in this one. I still have 2 that I haven't put in the truck yet, but another one I put in that in that double Creighton thing that I got upstairs that that can actually still run on 8S if I want to destroy the diffs, and it got one of those in there too. And the other Creighton, the Creighton XB, has one in there too. So yeah, these servos are awesome. Yeah, period. But as I said before, this is my stock-ish, even though it does have a lot of upgrades. Kaiju. And it has the regular arms on it. One of them is broke. And it's still broke. But as you can see, this arm has a heck ton of flex. Heck ton. A lot. These are the most flexible arms on any car ever. Period. It's just that simple. So I've been through this before, where since the lower arm has so much flex, the upper arm ends up getting destroyed by the ridiculous amount of flexing in and out that the lower arm is doing. But every once in a while, the lower arm up in there, since the plastic is so gummy, will actually rip out of the hinge pin, which happens to that thing. So I've changed the arms on this, everything out, it's all gone. This thing, since I want it to be a truggy, kind of like, I didn't want all that weight down there, so I left the stock arms on there, even though I have to change out the upper arms, because the upper arms, yeah, even on a little tumble, they will snap and break. And as you can see, also, the steering link is different too. Yeah, it's one of those little ZD racing things. Although it's a Redcat part, it came from a ZD racing car. Well, go figure. It is what it is. I got it on this truck too, and they work perfectly. And they're dirt cheap. Yeah, this truck it does have all the upgrades on it, all the bloody Redcat upgrades, all the metal hubs and stuff. Yeah, that's par for the course. I mean, this truck is still really cheap for a 6S plastic tub chassis. And what a tub chassis. This chassis, I mean, you can see the chassis is on Jenny's for like $2. But with these braces, this thing has zero flex. The whole chassis has zero flex. It has even less flex than the Maxxis chassis. Yeah, I gotta get another Maxxis. I don't even want to look at it anymore. I'm tired of it. I mean, people say it's all durable as all hell, but yeah, I ran it a couple of times and cracked the bulkhead on the front bulkhead. That front bulkhead, I don't know. I mean, I jumped the thing and it landed on the bumper. I guess that was good enough to crack the front bulkhead. So that makes the third max I didn't hit and then crack the front bulkhead. So yeah, I know I'm going off on a tangent. I need to stay on Kaiju. So yeah, we have your run-of-the-mill, completely upgraded, ridiculous Redcat Kaiju. The one thing I didn't do with this one, and I actually did cut up some more of the metal plates that I'm gonna put on the front of this one, just like I did that. Yeah, because these arms, they are ridiculously strong, and they will wreck the bulkhead. They have no flex, no give, no nothing. As soon as this arm hits, if it don't pull out of the hinge pin, it's going to flex enough to make the wheel turn, make the whole suspension turn in, and that can snap this part right off of the bulkhead, and yeah, car done. Yeah, that's also what happened to that. It is what it is. I mean, I've been through this truck I don't know how many times just to give it a nice little chance of constantly being upgrading and constantly being upgrading. I know these things been sitting in the basement. Well, at least this one's been sitting in the basement. Well, actually, most of them. Most of these that I run all the time, they sit in the basement now. Boy, I really shouldn't have did that because now the screws is rusting. I gotta nail the things with some WD-40. But I haven't been doing that because I've been running the damn things. And since it's so messed up out here, yeah, spraying them with WD-40 and then taking them out the next day, that doesn't work too well. I mean, it gets grit all everywhere. I mean, you see how much stuff can be caught in that just by doing this. Yeah, if I put WD-40 in, and yeah, I'll run these stupid trucks in the winter to, well, I did run them. Well, at least I tried to run them in the snow, and they get caught full of everything. But that was a while ago, and that was before they was upgraded. I didn't really break them in the snow. I mean, I had the paddle tires running with them, and they behaved just like I thought they would. They would ride around in the snow, picking up everything, booster tails and whatnot. I'll do that again this year, mainly because they're ready to go, despite the rust. It's just rust, just surface rust. It's not like the screws didn't rust it all the way through. It takes years for that mess to happen. So I hit the trucks up with some WD-40 one of these days and let them sit for about a week. Maybe. Not this one. I'll let this one sit for a week and see what happens. Oh boy, rambling on about these trucks. I mean, I just don't know. But it is what it is. It's a Kaiju. One of the absolute strongest cars for the cheapest price. Although, yeah. I mean, if you take the stock truck and just run it around the yard, maybe tumble it a couple of times, just a little bit, run it on 4S, not really torture it too much, it'll stay intact for the most part. I mean, you can easily break an arm on a tumble or whatnot, and Redcat has been through like 3 iterations of that upper arm, and it's not the actual materials, it's the design at this point. I mean, I've gotten all 3 arms for some dumb reason, and yet they're all kinda, they are lacking in one point or another. So I'll just stay with my ridiculous beefcake arms. There's no point in ever going back to these. I mean, I went through I don't know how many modding and remodding and reinventing the wheel with these arms to try to get them to a point to where they can hold up and not bend and not break and all this stuff. So there's no way I'm putting that junk back on the truck. No, it's not. And whatever truck I get, I'll probably end up getting both the rival, well, especially the rival, since it's a Moto Chassis Kaiju. Even though the classic chassis has never given me any problems at all, and it's like one of the cheapest parts on the truck. That's nuts. And it's about to rain, so I'm gonna have to wrap this up. Yeah. I love being out here, love the fall, love this weather. Yesterday it was nice and sunny all day, and today it's gonna rain for half the damn day. But I did get a little bit of action in before all of that. So Kaiju, you about to have some company. Yes. Redcat Kaiju. I swear to God, man. Actually giving me something to do with these stupid 4S bodies, because it fits on this car perfectly. I mean, oh man, it fits the car perfect. I mean, all I have to do is just drill some extra holes and it fits on the car. Of course, it fits on the car without modding the body post, but as you can see, I modded the body post. Redcat. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with y'all. But as long as you guys and Team Associated stay locked lid for lid with these trucks, I'll be like, yeah, bring them on. Because there's no reason to not have a Kaiju. I mean, it has that Redcat logo on it, but it's still a tough ass truck, minus the arms. The core of this truck is literally the most rock solid RTR I've ever seen. And the diffs on the truck are not centered garbage, they're pop metal. They're not the centered garbage like the Traxxas diffs that everybody seems to understand, that they think that stuff is metal. The stuff is not metal. It's just powdered garbage that's been heated together to form a gear. I hate that shit. You have no idea how much I hate that shit. I know I'm going on another tangent, but that's what it is. Now, this truck, yeah, I said it before, with the hub extensions, I bent the CVA that's in there, the axle part. I bent it so bad. But that's not really the CVA's. Well, the metal in the CVA is not really the metal part. I mean, I know the metal was kind of crappy on that axle, so it bent. But the design of the axle itself is kind of suspect. I mean, it has that indentation in it. Why? There is no reason for that whatsoever, and that's an obvious weak point, and that's exactly where it bent at. So, and I haven't seen any truck do that. Any truck have that little stupid indentation. There's no reason for that. That's just more machining. Why would you do that? It's dumb. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I haven't been an engineer long enough to be able to figure out something like that. I mean, it is what it is. Forget it. It's some nonsense. I mean, and if you haven't ever seen that, you have a Kaiju. Take off the axle. No, take off the wheel and take off the hub and look at that axle. And look at that indentation and just wonder, just like I did, why the fuck did they do that? That axle would have no problems whatsoever if they didn't do that. And yeah, that same axle was in this truck. It's in this truck. And as soon as you put a hub extension on that axle, and yes, Redcat does make a hub extension for this truck. As soon as you put that hub extension on there, it's gonna bend. So, like, why? Absolutely mind blown on that one. I don't know. So I got the Creighton axles in there, and no problems whatsoever. None. With the hub extensions, none. And those are some of the longest hub extensions you can get. Done. I got a truckie. It's done. It's a Kaiju truckie. That's what it is. Yeah, and I'm gonna keep it like this. I love the way this thing goes. I mean, and just to see just how much wider it is, I'm not gonna be able to do this right. Yeah, it's a good, let's put it like this, line them up so I can get it. Yeah, with the hub extensions on there, it is about a good 1.25 inches, just about 1.25 inches wider. Yeah, so that's a lot of width. That is a lot of width right there, and a lot of stability on this boy's part. I mean, let's just put it like this. With the body that I run on this truck, and as you can see, I went really, really stupid on this body. It ends up being a heck of a lot more top heavy than it is. And yeah, this thing tumbles around like crazy. Absolutely crazy. I mean, at some point I'm going to have to grab some more Creighton axles and hub extension out this truck and put the 35 kilogram servo in it. Because this is my go-to. It is what it is. And tumbling around like crazy is just a little annoying. Just a little. Not a lot, just a little. I'll put it out there. It's a little annoying. But I can't break it. I can't break it. It's literally, at this point, it's been taking everything that I've been dishing out to it for months. Literally months. And I have not had a car in my 20 years in this hobby. 20 plus years. Going on, what, 22 now? I have not had a car in 22 plus years. Well, that could actually take everything. Everything. Pounding after pounding after pounding after pounding after pounding after pounding. No matter how much modding I done to it. No matter what. It'll just take all of it. For literally months at a time. Months of months. 20, 10, 20, 30 runs. Air, LVC, over and over and over, pounding the damn thing to death. And the truck is like, let's go. That is the Redcat Kaiju. Now, it's been modded to hell and back, but at least I can mod it to hell and back without it losing any sort of look, any sort of performance, anything. It's still the same crazy truck that can do a standing backflip outside, right outside the box. Box to the ground, standing backflip. It's the same truck. Now, yeah, you might need some pretty good batteries, and I do have the 120C DXF 6S batteries up there that I love running on this thing. Yeah. Yeah, you're not gonna be getting all that with your little 50C batteries off of Amazon. Yeah, you're gonna need some big batteries to put in this truck. If you even think about putting any of the aluminum stuff, that's gonna end up wearing the truck down, because it's pretty light outside the box. And yeah, I added a good 2 pounds in aluminum and stuff to this truck to beef it up. And yeah, it's not gonna do the standing back flips if you go at it with a crappy C battery right now. I mean, it's not. I got a couple of crappy C batteries up in there, little 50C batteries. I ain't gonna do a standing back flip, but that shit at all. And yeah, it'll right over with the 120C battery, like it ain't nuts. So yeah, I'm gonna end it there and keep on loving my Kaiju and keep on looking out for more and more of the lovely Kaiju stuff that Redcat and Team Associated gonna keep on dumping out on us. Cause I'll buy all of it. Seriously, I mean, I just don't know. They upped the price of this truck to what, $429? Still, 6S. Everything's plastic. No drivetrain, no problems. Except when we put extensions on it, and don't do that. Seriously, don't. Unless you just want to deal with problems. As for the arms, don't land on an arm. It's just that simple. Don't tumble your truck or land on the arm and you're fine. But me, yeah. And I'm only gonna do this once. See, here's the truck. I'm gonna drop it right on the arm from right above my head. Yeah, see, it's up there. So yeah, so that's just how much that HDPE can take. As you can see from where it snapped at the weak point in the HDPE. It didn't snap at the hinge, it snapped at the weak point. So yeah, it is what it is. I mean, all arms is pretty much just going to break at some point. And I knew that this one was going to have a pretty low tension at this point, especially when you look at it and see that there are screws running in there to keep these sides in there for some reason. Yeah, that's just how I made the arm. Now I made another set that I've been working on to try to remedy that, but I haven't put it on there. So I pretty much wanted to just know just how much this arm could take. So I went on and did it, went on and broke it for y'all to see. So yeah, it's nothing's perfect. It is what it is. So next is figuring out just how to keep this, you know, as thick as that is, and deal with the way this arm broke, because it broke at the screw. If you look at this, you can see that there's stress here, right where the screw is. But I need this part in there. I need this in there, because this is like pound the strongest part of this. I mean, if I could make this whole arm out of this stuff, I would. But I know I tried doing that and it just wouldn't work right. This stuff don't have the I'm gonna say pliability to be able to be a hinged part like this is. But the HDPE don't have the strength to be a thinned out part down here like this stuff does. So while this thing has the strength to be the thinned out part down here, it doesn't have the flexibility to be a hinge. So it is what it is. Going back to the drawing board, I knew that was going to happen. I just wanted to go on and break it. I mean, at some point I'll get the truck to be a complete tank, but it's not there yet. It is what it is. I knew at some point that it was going to end up breaking. It's just that getting there is half the battle. So yeah, it's a mess. I mean, I've been landed not completely down on an arm like that, but it is what it is. I mean, it's just running the car, breaking the car, running the car, breaking the car, and trying to fix what you break. And I mean, if I look at the back doesn't have that same problem, mainly because there's no screw right where it thins out. So maybe that's what I gotta do back here. Maybe I just put too many screws in there. Maybe it only needs these two. I mean, it only has 1, 2 here. Yeah, it only has 1, 2 here to keep the thing stable. I'm landing on that back more than I'm landing on the front. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll try that. I don't know. Okay, one last update with the Kaiju before I go in and put it away for the night. Yeah, working on this truck. Yeah, since I haven't actually had to work on it for I don't know how long, it pretty much ends up going on the back burner whenever I have to do something to it. So if it does break, like I broke it on purpose earlier, I pretty much have to do it, or it will just not be done. It's just that simple. When I work on this truck, it's like, oh, why am I working on this thing? Yawn. Yeah, and then I just go toss it. Yeah, that's why it took me so long to figure out how to deal with these stupid upper arms. Oh my god. But I found out something just by default. When I took the arm off, yeah, the broken one, it was really freaking heavy compared to the stock arm. So I'm like, oh my god, the stock arm, where is it? Okay, so it broke. So I went on and weighed the stock arm, and it was 110 grams. I'm like, what? And I know it's beefy as all hell, but if it don't work, then what the heck? So I measured one of the stock arms, and it was 30 something like that. Okay, so this thing weighs 3 times as much as the stock arm. Nope. I got 4 sets of stock arms. I can break them and not even care. They mirror each other anyway. Each side mirrors each other. So, yeah, so I went on and put the stock arm back on the truck. Yeah, this thing already needs to go on a diet. I certainly can't be having all that extra weight on there thinking that I'm going to go out and not destroy something else because of it. Even if it was working for all that time. Yeah, all that extra weight does put a lot more stress on the little motor that's in there. Yeah, this motor is somewhat equivalent to a Castle 1512. Yeah, with a lot of kV in it. Yep, so nope, back to stock for now. And it still looks completely freaking awesome, especially with these glorious upper arms on there. Ugh. So I'm gonna leave it like that for a while. And ponder getting the rival. Yeah, I know I'm gonna get the EXT, but the rival, I don't know. I mean, it's pretty much just a metal chassis Kaiju. And metal chassis and bashing hard really don't go together. Yeah, I mean, my god. But I do have a couple of more sets of upper arms, so if I decide to get the rival, it'll be set. Well, I got the parts. I don't know if the rival is actually gonna. Rival's arms might be a little bit longer than the Kaiju's. Might be. Or they might be the same. I know they're different. They're definitely different arms. So, I don't know. Maybe I might get a set for the Kaiju if they are actually good enough. I know I need the CVAs too, and Team Associate really kind of screw around with their prices sometimes when it comes to 8th scale stuff. I mean, well, $500, that's, the Kaiju could cost $500 and I would still buy it. That's just how good it is. Okay, so I'm going to keep this short and sweet and to the point. Kaiju, back going again for now.